I have our new cactus bat, as we had talked about it earlier. Thank you, Nancy. I know, now you don't know there's a seam there. It's like our little secret. So I have a little bit of clay here. I rolled it out to 1/4 inch thick. I have our beautiful cactus bat that I'm quite literally obsessed with. If you haven't seen that peel reveal video on Instagram on our account, please go watch it. It was glorious. It was great. All right, I'm gonna take my roller, my speedball roller here, and I'm just gonna start rolling. What's nice about the bats is you can actually roll them through your slab roller. And I'm gonna be doing a little video more in depth about that later, because you have to account for the thickness of your bat, the thickness of your clay. You don't wanna make anything too thin if you don't need it to. But our slab roller is downstairs from where I am. I'm up in our loft right now. I'm hiding away. I didn't have time to move it up here today, but you can do it because the bats are so flexible. They quite easily roll through the slab roller. So I'm going to leave that off to the side. The little project I'm doing today is a dish. So I'm going to be putting this template on our website pretty soon. So if you're interested in doing that project with me, please refer to that template. It should be out in a couple days or so. So I have instructions here. So you want to cut out the circle. You want to remove this section here, but you want to obviously keep this. So this is going to be the wall of our bowl, and then it perfectly fits the bottom of a bat. I have our Monstera bat here. I won't be using it, but it is really cute. It's very pretty. So I'm going to roll out a quick slab. Slab action here. And I think this is about a pound. Yeah, 1.5 pounds. So I have plenty of clay here, probably way more than what I'm actually going to need anyways. I always like to do a little bit extra because knowing me, I'll underestimate what I'll need. If you didn't hear my rant about these rulers earlier, they're sold as like paint sticks. I've seen them in various home improvement stores, and they come in like a pack of 3. And they're really paint sticks. They do have like a handle here, but they also have rulers printed on them. And they're just so lovely. They're exactly 1/4 inch thick. So they're perfect for rolling out slabs. They're great for using them as your thickness gauge. So I'm going to use my guide here. Make sure I have a wide enough piece of clay to work with. Do the slat method and just stretch it out this way. So I'm looking for it to be a little bit wider. It's okay if it's a little bit thinner than 1/4 inch. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I just don't want it paper thin. I'm going to clean up any texture from my slab with my beautiful large rib tool here. And it's just so wide, it glides across huge slabs. It's pretty lovely. Flip her over. All right, so one last check here. Let's make sure. Sweet. So this would be the time where you add your texture if you want to add anything. Maybe you have a secondary cactus stamp that you want to put on. I'm going to use my cactus as my bottom for this bowl. So what we can do is we can actually take a little excess clay. While this piece is firming up, you can still use the corner stamp, which is lovely. A teeny tiny piece of clay here. It should be enough. I like to squash it into a ball. And the corner stamps, we call them orientation stamps because if you are actually using the bat for wheel throwing, the orientation stamp lets you know which way your stamp is facing. And that sometimes matters if you are making a lefty or a righty cup. If you want to make sure your handles are on the same side, it just gives you the ability to work on the bat with your piece still attached to it before you have to take it off. But the orientation stamp, it works as a stamp. So I just moved it to the side so I could flatten out this piece a little bit. I'm going to use my brayer, one of my favorite hand building tools, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to roll it from a couple sides, a couple directions here. Oh, it's so freaking cute. It's adorable. So you can use that as like a little button to decorate the sides of your dish. I think I'll make, let's leave it as one for now. And I'll see if I get spicy later and maybe we can add another. All right, so obviously I have a paper template here. What I often do is I use like cardstock, laminated cardstock to make out templates. You can also use, I've seen people use like really thin craft foam for templates. That way they don't disintegrate on you. Paper can get kind of wonky sometimes because it's absorbing the moisture from the clay. But since I'm just using this template once, I'm okay with paper. It'll do me, it'll be fine. So I'm just tracing out my template here. That way I can get my paper out of the way. It can be a little bit of a distraction. I'm gonna move our little sponge dish over here so she can dry. All right, and then we cut. So I like to use a fettling knife for this. Always taking my excess clay and putting it off to the side. I don't want to warp this clay too much, so I'm trying not to pick it up aggressively. Going nice and slow so I can get really close to the edges. This is a pretty classic slab bowl template. I just reconfigured it on my computer so the center of a Flexibat would fit in the center of this. But like I said, we're going to have this template up on the website pretty soon. If you want your bowl taller, you can make this circle. You can just make it wider, so you want a bigger diameter. And if you want it longer, you keep a similar height here. You just, you can cut your lines a little bit differently. So right here would be like a very tall, and narrow bowl at the base and the top. But I'm going for something kind of in between, almost like a catch-all dish. So we'll have that beautiful texture on the inside. That's what we want to be the star of the show. All right, so without warping it too much, I like to take a barely damp sponge and just run over the edges. It gets rid of any cut marks that I may have made that like didn't, you know, any little mistakes I made as I was cutting. I'm not perfect, and I'm okay to admit it. I'm gonna flip her over and do the same thing. Just softens the edges a little bit, and it, I find that it cuts down my cleanup time if I work slow, steady, and I try to clean up my piece as I go. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want something relatively close. All right. Are we ready for a little bit of peel porn here? A little bit of peel action. Oh, I took a sneak peek. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Look at her. She's beautiful. Little cactus moment. I'll show Miss Cindy on Zoom. Pretty. All right, so that's going to be the bottom of our bowl. You can put that aside. I have my little button here ready to go. I'm thinking she'll be a cute little accent right on my seam on the inside, maybe the outside. We'll see what I'm feeling. We'll see how spicy I'm feeling. I'm going to use the bottom side of the bat as a flat working surface. The bats are just so soft. They're really lovely to hand build on top of if you have something sturdy like your banding wheel underneath it. All right, so that looks good. So I'm gonna slip this guy underneath here. Like that. Usually I'd wait for this clay to firm up a little bit before I'm attaching it. I just want to give you guys a good idea of what it's going to be looking like in the end. I'm going to cross over those walls, and you'll see we're going to start picking it up in a little bit. So let me cut my 45s here. Doing my little measuring test, and it looked pretty good. So I'm going to overlap about a ½ inch here. I'm going to cut my 45. And I can do this down flat against the table if my clay is still a little bit wet. I like to use an X-Acto knife for that. And just try to get a nice 45 going. Like that. Pull her off. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. So I'm gonna flip it over. Same thing. Do another 45. All right, so let me score. Thought I had a hair dryer up here. I don't. Just gonna join those edges, prop it up a little bit. Now open up the sides just a tiny bit. That way we have the makings of a shallow dish. While that's drying a little bit, I'm gonna start scoring. So my walls, actually, we can put this on the inside. Yeah, that's gonna be way better. I did it both ways last time I did this. So what we can do is I'm going to cut right around the foot ring. And I'm going to use my knife for that. I don't want to cut through my Flexibat. So I'm going to use my X-Acto. Into the scrap pile she goes. We have a perfect little coaster. Perfect coaster. That's lovely. So let's see, how wide is that going to be? So it's probably going to come about a 1/2 inch up the wall here. So I'm going to score that area, but like I said, 1/2 inch up the wall, just so that clay has something to grab onto when we put our Flexibats center here in the center. So it'll be a little raised dish, and then I'll probably add some feet to it after. You do little cactus feet, that would be really cute to model. I'm just going to scratch the edge here. I don't need anything too crazy because I'm pretty sure I'll get a good compression. Nothing is being attached horizontally. Or, well, no, it's not being attached vertically. That's when I would really make some deep scores. Cute, I love it. We can even bring back our little ruffled edges if you wanted to. Like I said, this would be a cute little catch-all. I wouldn't really eat out of this just because there's some deep texture, some clear edges and seams going on in here. So my little ruffles, I'm using the foot from the impression from the bat. That's my ruffle. So I have one hand on the outside supporting, I'm twisting, and we're pressing, we're ruffling, we're tutuing, whatever verb you want to call it, we're doing it. Very cute. All right, do a little show and tell. Adorable. I love it. What do you guys think? A little cactus dish. And then, like I said, if you want to put your little butt in here, you can. And I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to use a cookie cutter for that. Of course, I don't have one that size. I don't know. Can I eyeball it? No, I have a compass here. So I'm going to flip it over so I don't ruin that texture. I'm going to find my center. And I'm just lightly making a score so I know where to cut later. And then I can trim her down. Very cute. I'm gonna score, and it'll be my little button. A little button. don't know if I want it to go over the seam. I kind of want it to go right here. Like it looks like a little sun in the desert, but it's a cactus sun. I don't know if that makes sense. It made sense in my brain. I'm just gonna close that hole I made with my compass and then mark it. I always mark where my pieces go before I score. That way I don't have to clean up score lines outside of where I place my secondary piece of clay. Get some smelly slip on there. Beautiful. And just give it a little press. This would be fun. You could decorate the entire edge with them if you wanted to. All right. What do you think? Do we like it? I like it. It's pretty cute. Like the perfect little catch-all. You can put some keys, some coins, candy. I don't know. You do your thing. All right. So if you're joining us kind of late in the live, these are the projects that we did today. I did a little peel reveal earlier of this beautiful texture we kind of have laying around. It's just pretty. There's always, I feel like Chelsea always has these beautiful designs and they're just lovely. And they're always like spot on with the texture. So she's doing something right with the Flexibats. But I did a little peel reveal. I did this little sponge holder, which is really cute. I can't wait to give this to my mom's for Mother's Day. No one tell my mom. You're sworn to secrecy. You can't tell her. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then, of course, we just finished making our little cactus desert scene. I'd love to paint a little sunset on here. That'd be really cute. As you can see, I'm a big fan of ombres and sunsets. So that is right up my alley. All right. Does anyone have any questions about Flexibats before I sign off from the live today? I'd love to answer any questions. And if you have very specific questions, maybe you have a big one for my mom too. Okay, I'll make you one later, Chelsea. If you guys have in-depth questions about any custom bats that you may have, you can always email us through the website. You can check us out there. If you're new to Flexibats, hello, we are Flexibats. My name is Lauren, and Chelsea's in the comments right now. She's the creator of Flexibats. We've been making bats for, I think, about a year now, and they're just gaining a lot of popularity, which is just so exciting. They're an awesome tool for you to use on your wheel. They were originally made to be wheel throwing bats, but they have beautiful textures in them, and they are, obviously you can use them in hand building as I have demoed today. We're always coming out with new designs, about one each month. So if you are interested in learning more about the bats, you can contact us through our website. If you purchase a bat, you'll be added to our email list, or you can just email us and we'll add you to the email list. And that way you'll get a newsletter each month about the bats and all the new things going on. I think we just sent one out today. We announced our Monstera bat is available. A perfect hello to spring. Our cactus bat is now out. And of course, we're always doing customs. So if you have a beautiful logo that you're trying to get on your pot, and maybe you're not a great painter, or maybe you designed it online and you can't quite get it to translate onto your pot, this is a perfect product for you to try. Everyone's customs that have been coming through have been absolutely beautiful. We've had some very pretty ones. So I encourage you to check us out. We are online at potterymill.com. And if you go to our shop tab, you'll see Flexibats. It's like the first thing. There's a little excerpt about how we started. There's a video on there on how to use your Flexibats on the wheel. There's a little bit of troubleshooting that you might need to go through for using the bats, but I've been throwing on them for I think about a little over a year now, and I have loved every moment of throwing on them. They've been lovely. So I'm so sorry if you guys just joined, but I'm signing off from this live.
I'll be posting
I'll
be posting the Zoom portion of it on our YouTube channel for review later, so people can watch the lovely little candy dish or soap dish or rings dish or anything holding dish.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah. I really appreciate the hand building application because not everybody throws like
no.
I don't throw.
Yeah, no, and we weren't expecting it to do really well with hand builders, but it kind of just happened that way. I think that's how a lot of clay products begin. There's ones that were made for hand building that now wheel throwers use. It's just natural, and it's really cool to see everyone's creations with them. I've seen people make magnets out of them using the corner stamp because they're like the perfect little size, which is so cute. I've seen people make coasters with them. The ideas for hand building are endless. So
I can totally see a whole tile project using different Flexibats.
Oh yes, absolutely. We want to start
kitchen backsplash.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, that would be so cool. We want to start featuring custom designs like each month or each week, and like just our like favorites that come through, because we see so many that are so well designed, and they when they're pressed with clay is just lovely. They're beautiful. So yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to sign off of Zoom, and I'm going to sign off of Instagram Live. I hope you had fun. Nancy, thank you again, my ruffle queen. She reminded me I was calling this thing a tutu. It's a ruffle, but it looks like a tutu. So, all right, everyone, have a lovely day. Happy spring. It's coming soon. I'm so excited. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to DM us here on Instagram or email us through our website. All right. Bye, everyone.